Welcome back to the revolution. Taurus May manifestation video. First off, thank you so much for being receptive to this idea. It's been awesome how helpful it has been and how much you guys have taken to it. I love it. I like nothing better than to give you tools. I think this is a Christian ideal that if you know something that can help someone, it is your obligation to tell them. And I really like that. I'm really into that. I love that concept of like sharing information and it almost being a sin if you don't. Because if someone is in pain or if someone is hurting or if someone really needs help and you know even a small something that would slightly ease their suffering, it does seem a bit, cruel to withhold it. So I love this. I love just providing whatever tools I've come up with or whatever understandings I've been able to reach and articulate them for you. That's amazing to me. So welcome to May. Welcome to Taurus season. Taurus, happy birthday. Nature blooms, love blooms, romance blooms, the material, the love of all things, swag. So how do we manifest in the season of the bull? As someone who has Mercury in Taurus, I feel that I am uniquely qualified to communicate this particular message. I don't want to use the word message, and I'll tell you why. And it ties into what I want to talk about. How convenient. I hear a lot on YouTube in our particular community. I am being prompted. I hear they are showing me the message I'm receiving. And every time I hear it, it throws me off and it unnerves me because I can tell that the person saying that thing isn't at all equipped to really be dealing with some entity or other that would be communicating to him or her. Like, I'm just either calling bullshit. I'm sitting there going, bullshit. I'm either like, no, that's not true. Or I'm like, whoa, that's quite dangerous. What are you doing, young person? So, I won't say that. I don't think I'm uniquely qualified to deliver any message, aside from being a Gemini and us, we are messengers. But I think I'm uniquely qualified to communicate to you the attributes of Taurus and the energy that is going to be pervasive during Taurus season and how to work with it in a way that doesn't leave you feeling like you charged at the wrong things. Bull in a china shop is an expression for a reason, because brute force, blunt speech, it is destructive. But also I think that people think it's instantaneous. A lot of people have the misconception that Taurus is quick to anger and then quick to react. That anger and that reaction has been building for quite some time. They've been piecing together all of the stuff. What seems quick is only seeming quick because all the patience and watching and recording and kind of getting all the facts straight and understanding what's really going on has been going on behind the scenes without anyone being the wiser. So there is a real mask-like ability to Taurus energy where they can seriously mask what is going on. While they have this whole other independent thought process going on. It's actually quite impressive because not a lot of people could maintain that sort of detachment from something that is poking at them and prodding at them. You know, like even during a bullfight, it really does take a lot to work the bull up when it comes to killing it. It'll charge at you a couple of times because you wave the red, you know, flag in front of it. It'll charge at you for sure. But it's definitely like trying to get you to stop bothering it. Once it gets hurt and hurt and hurt, then it really starts going for the guy, right? Because the bull is realizing that this isn't a game anymore. This is me assessing you, running at you at a couple of times, assessing you, and then, you know, trying to kill you. So that's the energy we're dealing with. Now, as May begins, you will find from Sagittarians to Virgos to Geminis, definitely the whole way through, you know, Capricorns, everything is falling apart. It seems that way. Libras are letting go of so many people. This will be a season when everybody will take on that energy of, I want to charge at the thing. This red flag has been waving in my face way too long, and I've got things to say and scores to settle, and I have all of this stuff comes to light in a few days. You know, at the end of the month, it's already started, but the culmination of, you know, the light is in a few days, and then we go into full-fledged Taurus season. And as much as I want to tell you that you should hold back and you should be, you know, peaceful, that's not going to help you. You know, and a lot of people online have been wondering about some of the more aggressive sides of my nature. And it's because I don't believe in nicety over what will actually benefit someone. I cannot be nice when it's to someone's detriment. I don't care enough about anything to let someone harm themselves just to be nice. Like, what does that even mean? I don't even know what that is. I like just thinking about it's making me angry. Taurus and Mercury. My own words can make me angry. Like I can think myself into a state of like really self-righteous anger because I'm like, what? Anyway, so during Taurus season, you do have a few scores to settle. You do have people to charge at. During Aries season, you wanted to do. And the manifestation advice was to use your mind to do it. Now, when it comes to defending personal boundaries, knowing where the fences of the pen are, who's allowed in the pen and who's not, depending on who happens to be in there, it is the season to go, to, you know, rage, to charge at the things that need to be charged at, whether that is a work situation that is no longer tenable. Boundaries need to be drawn there, whether it is a professional situation with a competing colleague, lines have to be drawn. The work situation, the first one is probably more of a boss situation, and the second one is more of a colleague situation, but it's someone who would like to kind of boss you. So they're related. Taurus season is going to be about control and you having to manifest through the exertion of your power and your will and how strong you are at reinforcing your boundaries, how strong you are at pushing back against, against all sides. This season brings with it a constriction that then in Gemini season leads to an expansion. How does that make sense? Nature blooms, everything is, you know, yes, nature blooms and all of that happens in June and July. Yes, it does happen. All of that, but there is this, that, you know, we're going to do this. Okay? So, right, why'd the camera freeze there? I was just going like that. Anyway, So at the beginning of Taurus season, we are in the constricted bud phase, okay? We're going to get watered. We're going to have the soil pushed back a little so we have a little room to grow and a little room to bloom. And Gemini season will be about going out there and manifesting through one's imagination, yes, but also through one's communication. So what is Taurus manifestation actually about? It's about power. It's about control. It's about regulation of power, how much you use, and what you use it for. The way to manifest most properly during this time is to see where your energy is leaking out, where the parasites are attached, where the fence is open, where there is, a pin in that bag and stuff just keeps leaking out. Because in that area of your life, your boundaries are not solid. And why are they not solid? For a very Taurian reason. Because your loyalties in that area of life are to something greater than your personal well-being. And this is a season where you will either fall prey to the Taurus failings, or you will learn from Taurus's mistakes like we learned from Aries' mistakes last month, and you will not make those mistakes, right? So in this case, that would be not being more loyal to something more than yourself. Putting the mask on before you put the child's mask on, or, the neighboring person's mask on. By the way, there's a bunch of photos of the people who were on a flight where, like, God rest her soul, a woman died because of engine, something got caught in the engine or something, and the oxygen masks came down, which is what I was referring to. The direction that the stewardess gives you is, please put your own mask on first before you put your child's mask on, because we really need you to stay alive long enough to look after your own kid. Thanks. So don't try to, go above and beyond and do it for the kid first, because that's stupid. So that's the same concept I'm getting to here. But as a side note, I would just like to say, because of whatever reach I have, anyone who has any reach, please tell the people this. In all the photos, the people are like this. Nose and mouth, people. Nose and mouth. You, like, what are you doing? No. And don't take selfies when... So anyway, falling prey to the Taurus mistakes in manifestation would be to say to this manifestation power, the universe, God, whatever you are comfortable calling it, these other people need these things more than I need these things, so put my stuff on hold, and how can I be helpful for them? And the universe is going to give you whatever you ask for. So what if what you're asking for is, how can I be helpful to others? It will be like, well, you could help this person with this, and this person really needs this. Here you go. Not falling prey to the Taurus failings would be to say, hey, there's all these people who need this and this and this. How about you give me some stuff so I can put my mask on properly first before I can go and do this stuff. Therefore, I'm breathing and I'm living and I'm getting what I need most, and therefore I can be much more helpful anyway. Because a lot of times what happens with Tauruses is that they are half performing. And I know that really bothers them that I'm saying that. I'm sorry, I'm really not trying to shade you. But you're so tired most of the time because you're not giving to yourself. And Pisces also do this. Virgos also do this. So you're not alone. I'm not criticizing you. But as a whole, as a collective, when we have this energy descending on us, we have to be careful that we're not out here really, stretching our own boundaries too much. And then kind of the backlash of it is getting upset with people who really weren't asking you to do as much as you did. And then you end up hurting their feelings because you get mad at them when they ask you for something that they actually needed, aside from all the stuff you just, did that they probably didn't ask you to do. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with all this? Anyway, it's like no spring. There's no spring. It's just going to be winter and then summer, I think. So, respecting your own boundaries. Now, the thing that makes this hard during Taurus season is that it is a very soft gentle energy. You know, like if you leave bulls alone, they're not just right. They're not like wasps, you know, just lose their tempers for nothing. They're gentle animals. So the thing that makes it difficult is how do you enforce your boundaries? How do you take the right steps to make sure your energy is being conserved so when you go into another manifestation high point, you have that body of energy? How do you plug those holes without hurting people's feelings and therefore hurting your own feelings? It will require some charging. It will require you also being a bit adult about understanding that not everything is roses all the time. Not everything is love and light, and sometimes you use your horns because you have them, and sometimes when the season comes around, everybody uses their horns because you have them right now. So the thing to do is to charge with purpose and intelligence. And the way to do that is to know, first of all, everything there is to know about what you're about to charge at. Because you will be prompted to run. You will be prompted to attack. You will be prompted to use your horns. Notice I said prompted. It's one of the words that I criticized before. Because people will appear to be doing it on purpose. People will appear to really be wanting you to, you know, while out on them. And what I'm saying is, be smart about it. Don't do it until you know what's really going on. So when you run, when you charge, you're sure you're going to hit what you're going for, right? So let me give you an example. Personal example that may give you some insight into the best way to deal with Taurus season in terms of getting what you want out of the month and how to deal with people in the best way, how to deal with the situations that'll come up where your boundaries will be tested in a way that's productive, but also you retain some, you know, self-respect, okay? So I've had a situation that I've been watching for about a year. It came up in my feed or suggested videos or something. It caught my eye because the person looked a lot like me. And I was like, oh, okay, you know. And by a lot like me, I mean that very loosely. You know, basic. There's a couple of girls, actually, that I was like, oh, and I saw about a year ago, a couple of them, 3 or 4 of them, and I was like, cute, you know, whatever. As it's now been revealed in the New York Times article that I will link below if you haven't seen it yet. One of the first things it says after my name is my age. And a lot of people were bugging out on Instagram and like online or whatever because I'm 40. I thought everybody knew by now. I thought I'd mentioned it everywhere. Someone always talking about, you know, myself and my shit. So I was surprised that a lot of people didn't know. Anyway, so when I saw these like super young girls pop up doing this stuff and kind of like emulating me, I was just like, that's cute, you know, like I didn't expect it. I'm a little bit, you know, weirded out by it, but like whatever. It's cute, whatever. Ah, sweet. So, didn't really pay any mind to it. After a while, after a few months, I started to get a little bit irritated here and there because people would send me, you know, you guys, not people. Sorry. Don't say people, man. Doing business here. I love when he says, my favorite part is when he says, the whites, about his laundry. So, the revolution, you guys were sending me clips of the same, one of the people that I had noticed, saying, you know, word per word, huge swaths of what I had said in videos. You know, the bull started to circle a little bit. Mercury and Taurus, I'm not going to react, certainly not going to overreact, I'm really going to take my time. So, okay, now I'm watching, you have my attention, plagiarism, you know, you have my attention, okay, no problem. So, again, the more compassionate twin of the Geminis is like, listen, you know, just watch, don't say nothing, it's okay, it's fine. Whatever, what do you care? What do you care? Get back to work. So then, a few months after that, people start sending me these weird clips of how she's bad-mouthing me in her videos. And I'm, you know, kind of, you know, now the bull is like starting to circle a bit faster. Like, huh? What? So, culminating in last month, where I was accused of energetic rape, energetic assault, I guess you can call it, and a few other, you know, completely ludicrous things. Now, when I say completely ludicrous, I don't mean because they're not true. Those things exist in some capacity, sure. I'm sure you can talk to, you know, all sorts of witches and shaman and people who can explain that way better than I can. But let me explain it to you this way when it comes to watching your boundaries. If you accuse a writer of battery, say he beat his wife, say he's an alcoholic and he beat his wife, that writer, you know, you'll look at him and say, ugh, these writers, or, ugh, that guy's just an asshole, what a douche. But if a writer is accused of plagiarism, that's a different thing, because that's his profession and he's showing you that in terms of his profession he has no integrity. So if you were to accuse him of that, that would be quite slanderous, right? Because it would directly affect his profession, his name, his reputation. So in the same way, one, that sort of energetic assault is very real. I have never been privy to it or a victim of it, so I am not saying this firsthand. Like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who can clue us all into what that means. What I do know is that in a time where we are literally hashtag trending about our ability to speak up for our place, our rights, our dignity, our boundaries as women, one of the most prevalent topics has been rape and coming forward about rape and sexual assault. You know, hashtag me too. So just the use of the word shocked me as a female in 2018 to accuse another female of any sort of rape. That was shocking. On top of that, to be accused of something in the energetic realm, when what I obviously do has everything to do with that realm, is directly attacking my, you know, integrity, my reputation in my profession, my professionalism, all of that, my ability to do my job. Then it became clear to me that what had started a year ago as what I thought was a perhaps spoof account. At first I thought it was an impersonation account, and I was like laughing my ass off for probably like 20 minutes before I realized that the impersonation was too good for it to be a spoof account. Like, there was no humorous punchline coming. There was no break to it. It just kept going, and I was like getting more and more into just how kind of psychotic it was. It's unnerving is the thing. So that brings you up to speed to present day and reinforcing your boundaries and respecting yourself enough to reinforce them when they need to be, right? So how do we do that? Well, I've said nothing for a year. Although I have felt quite victimized. This person has also made all sorts of fake accounts on Instagram, on YouTube, really like puts the lotion in the basket kind of stuff, you know, because with mirroring what happens, the dissociative, you know, issues that someone has to be this sort of a mimic. Sure, you mimic the person and you may also look up to the person in some respect, but really behind it is this real desire for violence because you want to, you know, wear their skin. It's this, you know, puts the lotion in the basket sort of stuff. So when I realized what actually was going on, and now that I see that it's become more about attacking me as a professional, as a brand, even more so than impersonating me or anything like that. Because I don't think that really worked out well. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, who knows what the end goal is of that anyway? I have no idea. I can't in any way propose to be in this person's head in any respect. No. But what I do know is that my name and my reputation is on an international platform being called out for no reason. And this is where I tie it back to Taurus season. You know, you poke the bull, you poke the bull, you poke the bull, and it takes it, and it takes it, and it takes it. And a lot of times what people do is they mistake Taurus patience and their need to really understand what's going on before they run at you as a doorway to do more, to keep transgressing, to go too far. You see, all those months when I was watching her plagiarize, watching her mimic, understanding really that there was like an illness going on here, I still didn't say anything. And I think she took that as encouragement. I think that that was encouragement to be more and more bold. And I think that's what people do with Tauruses, is they take your quiescy and your patience as some sort of an affirmation that they can continue transgressing your boundaries. And when they realize that that is indeed not the case, it is always a rude awakening. And all of a sudden, it seems like you did something all of a sudden. It's not all of a sudden at all. It's, you know, the limit has been crossed and crossed and crossed and crossed. And you walk around that pen, you know, slowly, 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 long enough until you understand exactly where that person is going to be standing. And then, you know, then you finish them. So now in terms of my professional, you know, life with all this stuff that's happened, mashallah, like the New York Times article coming out, that was amazing. I'm so grateful to Aisha for writing it. Thank you for reaching out to me. She is a part of the revolution and she wanted to meet me and hang out, and it ended up becoming that article, and I'm so grateful. Thank you to the style section. It's awesome. And thank you to all of you, most importantly. Like, even the headline is YouTuber brings tarot to the people. And I'm like, the people, like, it's so awesome that that's in there because it is you guys. So how do I now push back my boundaries and how do I illustrate what this season is going to be about? One, a lot of times your quiescy, did you pick up on that? The fact that you don't say anything is what causes abusive situations and transgressions in your life to continue. You must speak up. This season, Taurus season, you must speak up. If that means that you're going to be a bit sharp and using your horns, so be it. But you must speak up. As long as you allow yourself to be victimized and not speak up, nothing at all is somebody else's fault. You can't blame or charge at anyone when you're allowing it. First, you have to stop allowing it by addressing it, by being open about it, by talking about it. And once it's addressed and you get it out into the open as a thing, you say it, then you address it. Then if you need to charge at somebody, you can, right? But what you don't want to do is fall into the trap of just mulling it over and being quiet and keeping to yourself. And then, you know, all of a sudden it looks like you're just going crazy. And this applies for everyone. This isn't just for Taurus. It applies to all of us this month. You need to address things, verbalize them, vocalize whatever has been going on internally that has really been bothering you. Address it in a way where it is no longer a dirty secret. Because a lot of times when people are doing something to us, they're doing it in such a subtle way that if we say something about it, we look like we're overreacting. That's why I didn't say anything for so long, even though I saw what was going on. And I was really hurt by it. Like, it takes a lot to do these readings. I have to put a lot into it. That's not a complaint. It's just a fact. So for someone on any level to be like, you know, the thievery was just, it was hurtful. Like, think of your own stuff, you know, maybe get your own look, maybe get your own past history, maybe get your own horoscope placements. Maybe get your own mom's horoscope plate. Like, everything about you can't be exactly like me. It's not possible. It's not even logical. Like, so all that time of not saying anything was, you know, in its own way abusive. And that's what I'm saying to you, is that you have to, in this season, not fall prey to that and be the victim. You have to speak up and be like, look, this is what's going on with me. This is how I feel. This is how I feel I've been treated. Because if you get that settled and you get your lines drawn very clearly, then when we go into Gemini season and you get back to getting your energy out there, we'll know exactly what to do with it and it'll be clear. And you won't have a bunch of just, you know, inconsequential people in the way. Like, that's why this thing also, I haven't said anything and I've like tried not to let it bother me until these weird like accusations of assault came up. I've really tried to not let it bother me because it's so dumb. It's so inconsequential. Like, I'm not here to argue with a child who knows nothing and is like reading this out of like the back of an Urban Outfitters book, you know, how to read tarot. Like, I'm not, but I'm also not gonna let some dumb bitch accuse me of rape, you know? So, oh, that was my Mercury in Taurus. Did you pick up on that? So, address the things that need to be addressed, charge at who you need to charge at, and then when we, you know, turn the corner here, we have something real to work with. This is the prep phase. This is the way you guys like to cook. You ever notice that the person who invades the kitchen and disrespects the food by putting their hands in the pot and everything is someone who doesn't know anything about cooking? They're the ones asking, they're the ones getting in the way, because cooking is all about patience. That's why Taurus is like it, because it's something that involves slowness and exaction and detail and all of these things. And you have to allow it time to do what it does. Like, you have to allow flowers time to bloom when they bloom. You can't force it. You can't rush it. Taurus is that sort of slowness. It's not really that slow. I mean, bamboo can grow overnight, but it's about giving it the time, whatever times, you know, whatever speed that is. It's about holding space and time for things. And one of those things is you. You have to hold that space for yourself. You have to be able to admit when somebody is really hurting you. One of the reasons I think I didn't say anything is because it really hurt my feelings. And I didn't know how to express that because I have this, you know, Virgo moon, Cancer rising. I'm really strong. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. You know, but part of the reason was because I really felt, you know, attacked. Here's this person that is completely just in every way plagiarizing my stuff. And at the same time is kind of accusing me of all sorts of things that are really damaging. You know, if you guys didn't know me as well as you do, or if I wasn't as good, frankly, at what I do as I am, perhaps those things could have stuck. You know, it's a real Portia Candy Williams sort of situation. Like, it's just not a big deal because it didn't work. But if it had actually worked, it would have been a huge deal. And that's where I'm coming to with Taurus season. This is not a season of, oops, that thing happened, now let's deal with it. This is very preemptive. This is, I see this thing coming and I'm going to nip this thing in the bud so the other things can bloom. This is it's about weeding stuff out before everything blooms. It's about getting the weeds out so the things that really need the nutrients can get them. You see, all these different analogies point to the same thing. Your garden, your heart, your mind, your integrity, your dignity, your reputation. These are your lines and your boundaries. This is about your earthly material existence, but also about the spiritual connection to it. Your reputation is an energetic thing. Yeah? So, to defend that, one must be patient, but not too patient. Don't take so much that then by the time you blow up, it's crazy. You know, I could have not said anything about this, but I'll tell you what. If I hadn't said anything, if you're wondering, why are you addressing this? I'm addressing it because if I don't address it, in next month's video, she's going to be saying something even crazier. She's going to be saying some, like, crazy voodoo stuff. No offense to people who do voodoo. It's just not my thing. She's going to be, like, she's ignorant, though. She'll make something up that's not even true. Like, some ignorant voodoo stuff. Like, oh, she killed my cat or something. Who knows? Who knows? It'll just get worse because something's not right. You see what I'm saying? So I will continue to be victimized if I keep quiet. And this is really exemplified during Taurus season, this ability to really needle a Taurus, knowing that it's not enough for them to get worked up, but it's so abusive and damaging on this like small, constant level. And that's really, I had to admit to myself how I felt. It was just constant, small transgressions over and over again. And then, just jumping, not even stepping over the line, just sailing over the line into, now you're just trying to get hurt. So don't do that. This season is not about being patient anymore. It's not about going headfirst for what you want, though. Don't get it twisted. You already did the right thing by planting the seeds and waiting for the thing to come to you. Now, one of the things you have to do, let's tie it to last month, one of the things you have to do when you plant the seed and the thing is coming back to you is get all the mess out of the way, get all the leaks plugged, get all the parasites off, push all the imposters back, so they fall ass backwards into the fire, get rid of everything so that thing that is now planted, that is growing and coming towards you, has room and space to find you. That's how you manifest in Taurus season, is by allowing now for the manifestation to come to you even cleaner, even quicker, because you are doing such a good job of purifying your environment so all of this can bloom. If I didn't have the space or the air or the light for it to be possible, these flowers would die in a day. You see, so now, because all of your manifestations are coming home to bloom, make the place in your Venusian beautiful way, in the energy that will now take on from you, beautiful. Make it serene, make it peaceful, make it clean, make it so that things can bloom in it, including what you've asked for. Thank you for listening to me rant about that. It's really been bothering me a lot. And now you're probably wondering, like, what can we do? How can we help you? I don't know. I think it's probably like a flag the videos situation. I'm not sure what else to say. I don't really know how this works on YouTube. If anyone has any suggestions, please let me know. There are certain people who've said that they'll make compilations to send to YouTube so they can see that it's obviously like an impersonation account and that it's really trying to mess with my brand. There's stuff like that. But other than that, I don't know what to do. Outside of like flagging the account, flagging the channel, or flagging the videos, I really don't know what to tell you. So thank you for that. Thank you for supporting me and listening to me. But more importantly, please take it as a lesson in just what happens if you allow things to go too far. Like, now I look back on it and I should have probably just exposed my vulnerability and come to you guys and told you the truth like 6 months ago, and it wouldn't be as troublesome as it's been now. Because I think for her, she just like rattled off a bunch of words, which is what it seems like she always does. But, rape to me is just, I think I've been kind of stunned since I heard it. And so many people sent it to me and I was just like, oh my God, what has happened? Like, there are levels to crazy, and that wouldn't have happened if I would have picked a better moment to charge. And I probably should have done it last year in Taurus season, but here we are. So yay. Okay, May videos start going up in a few days, and I will link Instagram, Facebook, email address below. A lot of you have been asking about personal readings. I thought about opening it back up, but I think the only way I want to do it is recorded readings where I'll just send it to you. But I'm just thinking about it. I'm not ready. I'm just thinking about it. Maybe we'll start next month. We'll see. We'll see how the book release goes, inshallah, and then we'll go from there. So I'll link the pre-order for the book. The book is actually going to start being released as a serial, chapter by chapter, soon. So if you ordered the ebook, yay. What else? What did I say I would link? Oh yeah, the New York Times article. I'll link that too. And Taurus, I love you. I love your season. I love what's going on outside, even though the weather is hot, cold. It's all going the right way. I love that my house looks like a garden and all the earth signs are deciding to act right. It's all good news. And I'll see you in the videos.